The whole entire world believes that doing the same thing and wanting different results is called insanity. Well, the same thing for us. We can pray to God and ask God for everything in the world. Whatever you need, whatever you want, you have the right to ask God. But if you're doing everything exactly the same, it's pretty much kind of insanity, because I'm sure God has already showed you that it's God already. There's been some situations in our life that, and other people's lives too, like, dang, only God can help them out of that. So if you want some different results, you can't keep doing the same thing. Doing the same thing, expecting different results is called insanity, and that's in all things. It ain't just in spiritual matters, it's in everything. It's in everything. You have to do something different if you want different results. Doing the same thing, though you want different results, it don't work. You have to change. You have to change. One thing about God, God don't adapt to our ways. We have to adapt to God's ways. We have to adapt to being obedient. We have to adapt to trying to say things different that are positive instead of negative, even though something negative is going on in your life. We have to adapt to hold our tongue. We want to fuss with somebody and tell them off, because, man, when you say you love God, you get tested on all kind of levels. And not saying you pass all the tests, but you will start to pass some of them, and it will shock you, because you'd be like, "Ooh, if it was any other time, I would have did this, this, and this." They don't even know. And it's the truth. So when people think that God don't have no power and they mock people who love the Lord, you don't even understand that God was the reason that you end up being okay. Because you don't know that person's mindset. Because they didn't retaliate don't mean that they didn't think about it. It just means that they're going to have restraint because it is best in this situation, because they might go too far. And that's God's power. Absolutely. When somebody pushing you to the limit and they trying to poke at you and you end up not doing anything, that's God's power, because none of us walk in that. So every day, make every day count. Make every day count. Whatever that means to you, make it count. Whatever that means to you, because it means something different to everybody. But make every day count. And if you want some different results, even from God, you have to do some things different. Same thing if you want a new job. It's rare that you want a new job and that job just come to you. It's rare. It's rare that you want to move and that house just come to you. It's rare. These things are rare. You can't not do nothing and expect something. That's just the way it go. Again, the reason why, because you already know what God can do. He's done something for you or somebody that you know. If God ain't done nothing for you, he's done something for somebody that you know somewhere. Whether they acknowledge God for it or not, you can look at it and say, dang, that had to be God. It had to be. People have gotten in car accidents and have lost limbs in accidents way less than what my daughter did. She spent out on the freeway and didn't walk away with a single scratch. Now, I'm going to say that's all God protecting her and looking out for her, whether she said it or not, even though she do say it. But I'm saying that's what I would say. And remember, your adversary is looking for whom he can devour. Just like in the book of Job, when the Lord asked Satan what he was doing, he was saying he was going to and fro, seeking who he can devour. And then the Lord asked him, did he consider Job? Well, you must know he considered Job. For the simple fact, he knew about Job's hedge of protection. He knew all about him. So yeah, he was trying to get to him, but because of God's hedge of protection, he couldn't get to him until God removed the hedge of protection. And then when God removed the hedge, he still had limits. So remember, on your worst day, it ain't your worst day. On your worst day, the enemy won't do something more to you, but God give him limits. So thank God for the limits. If you can't thank God for nothing else, thank God for the limits. Because even though you think your life is hell, and it could be to you, but somebody's life is way worse. And whatever that hellish situation is, I promise you, if God was not looking out for you and for me, it'd be 10 times worse. You could believe that. And that's the honest truth. Because with Job, he could do everything. He would touch his life. He put sores on him from the top of his head to the very probably soles of his feet. He was so messed up, but he couldn't take his life. But he made him suffer to the maximum of what he could do. We ain't no different. We ain't no different. The whole goal is to make you lack faith. The whole goal is to make you not believe in God. And it's working for a lot of people. Lots and lots of people are not believing in God because they have some suffering and some loss and some lack. When if you read your Bible, you know that's part of living in this world. You're going to have all those things and then some. So be encouraged and be inspired to know that God look out for us even when we don't know it. And none of us deserve it. It's just his great grace for us. That's all. Be blessed. Remember, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. Be blessed.